What up? This is Austin St. John, Jason, the original Red Ranger. You are watching Action Activate. If you're not watching, why aren't you watching? You should be watching. You know you want to watch. You're not watching, maybe you should see a doctor. I don't know, man. Maybe you should call the Power Rangers. I'm just saying, because it's Action Activate, and that's where it's at. Much love.
Welcome, Halloween Hypnosis, episode 14. I am the big Dawg Defender. He is multi-syllabled.
Gazbot!
And this is Action Activate. So, talking about the episode, why don't you start with your take?
Okay, I liked this episode more than I thought I was going to. I was not looking forward to it. It's a clip show. I like Halloween a lot, but I haven't really loved the Halloween clip show episodes. I'll say... I'll just do my quick good and bad. It's one of the best clip shows I've seen, but the parts of it that weren't the clip show looked really awesome. Like the Sentai episode they ripped apart to make this, and I'm like, why? I want to see that episode. I feel like this was a bad episode to choose to make the clip episode, but I liked this episode overall. What about you?
I actually feel like I agree that they
Thank you very much, Tech Ops.
Tried to... Ooh, thank you. They shouldn't have tried to condense so much of that Sentai episode, and I actually would have been okay if they dragged the clip show aspect and just did American footage, kind of the episode in a bottle formula,
right,
and just stayed on base. I was okay with that.
That's what I thought they would do, or they would pick some episode, and I don't know what the Go Busters footage was, but maybe some episode that they couldn't use because of like weird, cultural things or characters that we didn't have in America.
Or like clips of like other episodes that they kind of splice together and make work of, like, they're battling Tronics and they're doing this thing, like...
Yeah, but...
I too was oddly, like, enjoying this episode more than I thought.
It started off well because we got Steel as Frankenstein.
That was my favorite.
Which they later called Frankensteel. And yeah, so Nate as Dr. Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster, that was a perfect pairing of the two of them. And Steel actually refers to himself as Frankenstein's monster, which people usually don't get right, myself included a second ago. And then we see Zoe is a Viking and Ravi is Sherlock Holmes, and they're all having a good time. Which, this is kind of funny too, because at the base they make such a point of like, it's business time, we don't have time for messing around, especially Ravi, and yet now it's Halloween and they're all in like full costume, everything's decorated. One thing I'll mention that stood out to me in this episode, and it stood out in a few episodes recently, but the Beast Bots, not including Steel because he's sort of a hybrid, but the Beast Bots No, and they were such a big deal in the beginning. They're part of the family, and you're our friends, whatever, and they throw parties. And they're, like, barely in the show anymore. And this episode specifically, and also who wasn't there, Ben and Betty. So it's like this big, hey, we're all celebrating, but without, like, 5 of the main characters that are always here. So that struck me as a little bit odd. Mecca Claire saying, hey, Tech Ops, what's up with you? Tech Ops is also a streamer, mostly games, but you can check them out as well. And then Real Babu, Frankenstein's monster was named Adam in the original Shelley story after the first man. Oh, that's interesting and cool. And I never read the original story, so I am now a learned man. Thank you, Real Babu.
When it comes to people who are missing in this episode, I really feel like it was really easy to do a throwaway line. Oh, maintenance is being done on the other Beast Bots, or Ben and Betty are on a family retreat.
Ben and Betty are doing maintenance on the Beast Bots.
Yeah, something.
But at the same time, I feel like we know they have those suits in America. They could have just had them come through in the background and be like, hey, guys. I guess the reason they didn't was because, spoilers, they're all about to get hypnotized. And if Ben and Betty and the Beast Bots were there, they would either have to get hypnotized as well, or not be hypnotized. And either of those would either make the episode longer because you have to save more people, or shorter because you have so many people to help save. So I guess it was like a storytelling timeline thing.
I also love, it's like, how did you guys get hypnotized? You found a really sketchy torrent site.
He even says that,
using to stream.
It's this
I
weird
found this site that no one has used ever.
Yeah. They come back to that later. It's weird because Scrozzle set it up. It's a trap. But I feel like Scrozzle should have like sent it to Nate's computer directly, or like given him like got it to Nate. But later Nate's like, "Oh, I shut down Scrozzle's website before anybody else got to it." It's like, so it was a real website that anybody could have found. Like what? Like how did he know you would find it? Like I don't know, whatever. But that was a weird throwaway. So anyway, everybody except for Devin sits down to watch this weird bootleg thing. Oh, Real Bad Boo says it's a monster thing, as knowing why Frankenstein's monster was called Adam. That makes sense. Because Real Bad Boo's a monster. They're monster pals. And they're both kind of semi-good, chaotic monsters, too.
Chaotic neutral or chaotic good?
Depending on... Oh, wait. Which was he? I don't remember. I thought it was chaotic neutral.
I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, we spent a whole episode on that, and I already forget.
We spent way too much time on
We really did. True neutral. Oh, Babu, thank you. True neutral.
There
true
we
neutral.
go.
Yeah, it was because we had Squat and Babu as true neutral, I think, was how we did it. So they start watching it, and immediately we see like, oh, is this the movie? Nope, it's like zapping their eyes. And they go through each one, and I remember thinking like, well, that's not going to get Steel because he's like a robot. Nope.
I know. I'm so glad it did.
Yeah, me too, because he's half human, and it wouldn't have been as fun if he was like, guys, what's wrong, you know? So they all get hypnotized. I love this picture of Scrozzle too. I think that'd make like a cool album cover or something. Just like enter the Scrozverse, man.
That'd be a good phone background.
Oh, and Finster too, Real says, for True Neutral. Yeah, that would be a good phone background. So they all get hypnotized, except for Devin, who doesn't like Halloween. He thinks dressing up is stupid, which is weird because he's like a fun-loving dude that loves video games.
Robbie should be the one, but this is Devin's episode, so all right.
This is Devin's episode, that's true. So actually, I disagree with that. Regardless whose episode they intended it to be, I think it was Zoe's episode. Because,
but I'm saying in terms of like the person who has to save the team.
Yes, absolutely. But in terms of who, like Jacqueline Sislowski, I think is how you say her name, who plays Zoe, definitely was like, I am loving this episode. I'm chewing the scenery. I'm like she definitely was. This was her episode.
She did the best voice out of everybody.
Absolutely. So what happens is and this is something we've seen in Buffy and a bunch of other shows, they now think that they are the characters they're dressed up as, which in the case of Zoe makes her be like a Scottish, like, I'm a Viking, get away from me, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna kill someone, and but much better than me. And then Frankenstein.
I didn't even try.
Yeah, Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster. Less accents. It's more like Nate just being more of a scaredy pants, and Steel just kind of having a Muppety voice, like, I'm gonna get you. Like he kind of it sounds like somebody like, I'm a monster.
Like the monsters in like Big Bad Beetleborgs.
Yeah, there you go. Or like a Muppet monster, just like a non-threatening monster. But that leaves Ravi as Sherlock Holmes. So my first thought was like, oh, okay, well, he thinks he's Sherlock Holmes, so he's gonna be helpful, and they'll team up. But no, because he's like, I only answer to the law. And I was like, I've been watching that Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock Holmes. He doesn't answer to the law at all. But this, I guess, is the traditional version that you think of. Matt Kendall, Real Babu says DJ Scrozzle in the club. Matt Kendall Claire, and it was funny that Scrozzle's hypnotic message was basically a rhyme. Oh, was it? I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Maybe it was a spell.
And Zoe's priceless in this episode. I agree. So basically, Ravi's like, as Sherlock Holmes, I'm not going to help you. You're not the law. But he immediately investigates like a pillow and like decorations. Like he's not very good at But Devin says, oh, he looks in the case and there's a Bobby, a English police officer uniform, and he dresses up and he's like, what ho, I'm a police officer now. Now, Devin's accent is not great. It's sort of
better than Ravi's.
Yeah, Ravi had the worst accent of everybody. I feel like Devin had an English accent like you or I would, where like he hasn't been trained, but he kind of has like an idea of like, well, this is my English accent, and I'm gonna keep it consistent, and blah blah blah.
Boy,
blah, blah.
What are you doing over there, mate?
There you go. It's fine. It's not good, but it's consistent. The problem I had with Ravi was he was sort of like, I'm British. What? Like, am I doing now? Like, it was sort of like drifting in and out of like New Zealand and American, and like it was weird. Like it's fine.
Everything about it I didn't like, which is no surprise. It has nothing to do with Ravi. He just happened to have the worst one.
It's true. And also I judged him harder than Devin because Devin is a guy who's not under a spell, quickly trying to do a British accent.
Yeah.
Ravi supposedly is now Sherlock Holmes, and like it should, pop out, but like whatever, it's it's fine. I guess you could argue that even though Ravi thinks he's Sherlock Holmes, he still can only do as good of an accent as Ravi can actually do.
He's still not capable
right.
of becoming British.
Yes. But by becoming the cop, he's like, okay, I'll help you. And he's like, we're missing someone. And Devin, I don't know how Devin knows this, but he's like, oh, if I get him to remember who he is. So he's like, I'm looking for this guy named Ravi. And he's like, tell me about him. He's like, well, he's afraid of dentists. And so they show a clip of the dentist show, and they're like, and he helps kids. And they show a clip of the kid show, and then he's like, I'm Ravi. Boom, spell broken. Yeah. So this is when we now know, okay, this is a clip show. If there was any doubt, we also know most likely they're only going to use clips of the first 13 episodes, which led up to it. Even though theoretically this is episode 30, I don't know why it's called episode 30 or whatever it is when it isn't. Like it's not like
mine it actually said 14.
Oh, okay. Well, at some point, I guess before it was originally going to air later.
What I was saying is it. Yeah, it seemed.
They corrected after the fact, but again, it's even though I enjoyed this episode, 4-clip episode, it seems like it would have been way better to do at the end of the season because they'd have more to pull from, and the stuff wouldn't be like, oh yeah, that was 2 episodes ago. It'd be like, yeah, that was a while ago. Like I forgot,
For all we know, though, this could have been toward the tail end of the initial run, and then they had to break it up and like compact it all weird ways. It's like, all right, we're gonna have 8 episodes, and then a long break, and then 30 in a row.
Yeah, but why not wait till the end of season 1? Regardless.
I'm not in charge because if I was, it would be grossly different.
Grossly? You could put some slime in there? Some farts? Some boogers?
I said I was in charge. I didn't say you were in charge.
Oh, well, I was just thinking of,
You could be a consultant for hire on occasion, not all the time.
I got an idea for an episode. It's called Barf Breath. All the Rangers have to barf, and they have bad breath.
Everybody would be like, I really didn't like that episode. Something about the writing and the tone. And then everything after that would be the stuff we know and love.
Yes. So anyway, he cures Ravi, and they go, okay, well, the key is getting people to remember who they are, but we have to dress up so that they react to us properly. And Devin gets another Viking outfit to match Zoe's. Now, side note, why does they say that Zoe brought this trunk of costumes for everyone to use? Why does Zoe have this trunk of huge, like, theater production level quality costumes and multiples? 2 Vikings.
It's her passion. Who knows?
You think they're hers? My theory is that maybe it's her parents, and these are like
I was going
to
say
costumes.
There's a family like amount of them.
Yes.
Like for all we know, the costume she has and the costume Devin wears were her parents from when she was a kid, and they just still have them.
That's kind of my thought too, but they're still very good. So I would like it if they at some point. Well, we met her parents, didn't we?
We met her mom.
Her mom, yeah, and she's a newscaster or something, right? I thought she was like a reporter. Yeah,
she has a job.
I thought she was like in a helicopter reporting. Matt Kendall Clare says, "Oops, Dolly Girl says it's a big skull in the background." That is a big skull. There's 2 of them on either side of the TV. I would love to have that for my Halloween decorations. Matt Kendall Clare says Hasbro's Power Rangers YouTube channel actually lists this as episode 21. I just think they're trying to write it to keep continuity since why? Yeah. Well, I mean, I like that they aired the Halloween episode around Halloween, I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess, well, it would have been preferred that by the time we got to Halloween, we'd be on episode 21. So who knows what happened behind the scenes. Yeah. But, my point, though, was that Zoe's mother, I believe, is in the media. And maybe when she was younger, she was a theater geek. So maybe this is like a combination of her costumes with her husband or boyfriend, but also being a theater geek, she had a bunch of like really good costumes. That's kind of my theory.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
You don't care.
I'm usually the one who does the deep dive, and I'm shocked it's you this episode.
I need some headcanon for this.
I know. Normally it's like, here's how we got to rationalize it because everything's in continuity.
Right.
But I commend you. That actually makes sense.
Okay. So Devin goes to talk to Zoe as a Viking, and Ravi gets a call from the commander. He calls the commander and says, keep everyone off of whatever level we're on.
I love this part.
And she's like, why? What's going on? And he says something like, I don't have time for you. Like, just do it.
No, all right, this is... Get ready, folks. This is me defending Ravi.
Oh, but wait, hold on. What are you going to do?
I know. I'm defending
I'm going to give you a one-shot there. Let's see.
I know. That's why I paused. He goes, Commander, very important thing, shut down this level. She instantly goes, wait, what are you talking about? He's like, Mom, like, I need you to listen to me. Come on.
Yeah.
So he is taking things more seriously than the commander, who from one of her officers is being told there's a possible threat that we're going to contain. She's like, what do you mean? Like, I don't believe you. You really need to tell me what's going on. I don't get it. And he's like, Mom, just like, shut up, please. And like, listen to me. Let me do this. I got it.
I agree. I don't even know if he needs defending because I wasn't attacking him. I 100% agree. When I was watching this, I was thinking, is this going to be an episode that helps Big Dog on his journey towards, learning to love the Ravi or not? And it seems like there's a step in the right direction from you.
That's going to be my Power Rangers biography that I write.
What?
Learning to love the Ravi. Big Dog Defender's journey to a positive review.
Okay. Matt Kendall-Clare, oh my, Defender's defending Ravi. And Dolly Girl, it's his job to defend. It is his job to defend, but Ravi has been a tough one for him to defend up until recently.
He is my nemesis.
There are a few people, and it might have been Lupin Green, I forget who said that, like, with your distaste for things Ravi's done in the past, that the next couple episodes it's going to be interesting to see, hinting that Ravi does some good stuff, and he has been definitely going on that up. Increase. So anyway,
what I will say, without going too far into the episode, the main negatives I've already gotten out of the way.
The accent,
but
that's not even storytelling. That's just the actor didn't do a good accent.
Yeah, which shows like my opinion of this episode. I was shocked as I was watching it. I was like, wow.
I have very little bad to say about this episode.
Quite the episode.
Yeah. And it's a clip show. Well, here's the other thing. The clips weren't that long. Like, I feel like usually a clip show is like 75% clips, and then we're stuck in the freezer. This was like a real episode that had some clips in it. And so, I don't know if it was the best Power Rangers clip episode ever, but I would definitely nominate it as potentially one of them.
It flowed really well. I'll give it that.
I didn't even feel like usually clip shows I fast forward through the clips. I didn't even do that this time. I was like, that's fine. It's just real quick.
Well, also from a Halloween episode perspective, this actually like had some merit. Whereas I feel like most other Halloween episodes, first one that pops in my head is Zeo. It's like, oh, it's all self-contained and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But I do like that sometimes they'll have like a skull-themed monster or the pumpkins like in Mighty Morphin or something. Like, so I think there have been good Halloween episodes, but the clip show part of it is mainly what I'm referring to, that they did a better job with this.
But like in Zeo where he had the nightmare where everybody was evil and like Tommy was a vampire and like all this other stuff. And then at the end it's like, oh yeah, it didn't happen.
True. Yeah, well, unfortunately that's another trope they use a lot that I'm not a huge fan of. Like that episode of Time Force. Like that episode of Time Force where they did all the time travel and it was a dream. Why? Oh, yeah. They're Time Force. Listen, I could go on and on about Time Force. It's a good season, but not enough time travel for my taste. Anyway,
that's because you're a Whovian through and through.
I do like Doctor Who, but I like time travel in general. But here's the thing. I'm not saying that about other seasons. I'm saying that about Power Rangers Time Force. Time Force. I think it was fair to me to assume there'd be a lot of time traveling.
Want to know why there wasn't a lot of time travel?
Budget?
No, because there was time for Power Rangers Time Force only in the title. After that, they used up their quota.
Yeah, but here's the other thing.
Time.
Here's the other thing, and I'm going off on a little bit.
There was no time.
All right, I'm going to give myself one shot. Listen. Time Force, as those of you, like, I've been going back and watching all the seasons I haven't seen. Time Force is a season I was really looking forward to. I think the suits are really cool, the designs. I had heard it was one of the better seasons, if not, like, some people say it's their favorite season, so that gave it a good lot. And I'm a big fan of time travel. Yes, I like Doctor Who, but I like Back to the Future. I like episodes of Star Trek that have time travel. I really enjoy the trope of time travel. I'm really excited to see the new Terminator movie because it's time travel. So, going into Time Force, I had kind of highish expectations. My thought was, hey, if it's a mediocre season with cool outfits and time travel, I'm going to love it. And that's not what it was. It was a better than average season with cool outfits and no time travel. Not literally no, but, spoilers, the team comes back from the future, or one member of the team comes back to the future, and then reverse that. The whole team but one comes back from the future, and they recruit somebody from the present, but then they stay in the present 99% of the time. The villains come from the future, and they all fight in the present. And it isn't like, oh, we all have to go back to this time and fight. There's one episode where they go back to dinosaurs, and it's like a tiny part of the rest of the episode. They just have to find something. Then in the credits, right, they're like, time for Power Rangers Time Force, and you see the clocks, and their weapons turn into clocks, and they show clips of like the Old West and like other time periods. And when you watch the show, most of those clips are from one episode where Yellow dreams she's in the past, in the time travel one. And then there's other one where I think they're like in a play or something. Like, so like half the credits time zones they show aren't actually time travel. But they're selling it like it's not like, oh, well, it's not supposed. They're selling it like it's time travel. This is too much. I'm going back to the show. It's a good season.
Well,
I like the season. They needed to time travel more. That's my complaint. Jen, Pink Ranger, one of my favorite Rangers of all times. It's a good season.
So are you saying, under the same logic, that a season titled, let's just throw out a random name, Overdrive, should really drive the greatest episodes of Power Rangers when really...
And it has. You're right, because it had Once a Ranger, which I know is one of your favorite episodes. So I appreciate you bringing that up.
Second of all, you're wrong.
Yeah, no, it might not be your absolute favorite. Your absolute favorite might be that Ninja Steel episode, the 25th anniversary crossover. I know it's tough because the two of them are both so good in your mind.
No, the Ninja Steel 25th anniversary was a great episode.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's probably the only reason why it bumps out Operation Overdrive. But no, you bring up a good point. You like Operation Overdrive. The title really does work. It drives it. It's an overdrive, so that makes more sense than Time Force. But getting back to this episode,
I'm excited for you to watch the two-parter and then get really frustrated at the points that I get frustrated at.
Well, I'm not there yet. Going back again for those that don't know, the two seasons I have not seen at all, SPD and Mystic Force. The two seasons that I have not finished are Dino Thunder and Overdrive. That's everything else I've seen. So moving on.
And we're never going to finish Overdrive because we only watch it together.
Yeah, and we don't get together physically that often, despite living pretty close to each other. So getting back to the episode of Beast Morphers, which is what we're talking about here.
Great clip, great shot right there.
Thank you. Yeah, Zoe and the actress Jacqueline is just like jumping on it, bang. She is acting her butt off, physically, verbally, face acting, all of it, great.
Spiritually,
everything. Now Devin's doing a good job too of being like, "Ooh, I got to deal with this." He's trying to match her, but he definitely is coming in second. He's doing a good job, but she is just—you're not catching her. She's queen of the prom of this one. But I like when he's like, "I got to be a Viking."
I love his underbite that he does for it.
Well, here's my theory. He doesn't really know much about Vikings, but he's a Star Trek fan because he's basically a Klingon. Because she's like, I'm going to get over there. I'm going to bear them down. She's kind of trying to do like a real accent. And he's like, I'm a Viking. So I think he thinks he's a Klingon. And further evidenced by the fact, oh, by the way, I love that she got the cookie and she's hitting it with her axe to try to open it. But he jumps out and he says, I forget, he's like, I am Devin, son of Daniels, which is how Klingons introduce themselves.
Well, I'm not going to validate your Klingon theory by that point, but continue.
Okay. So she's like, oh, I don't believe you. I'm going to hit you with my axe, I am. And just gives us so much gold with her face and everything.
Yeah.
And then she chucks the axe right out, which I love. She's not like, well, let me think. It's like, silence! Words have no meaning and a Viking like me.
I had one major issue.
Okay.
Major issue with this part.
What?
What is the sole thing that the villains are trying to get the last 3 episodes?
The powers.
Which power specifically?
Speed. Beast speed power.
Cheetah speed.
Cheetah speed, yeah.
He is having an axe thrown at him that has been prefaced that it will be thrown at him. What does he not do?
Uses cheetah speed. But I take it as he's taken off guard because this is his friend and his comrade, and he's like trying.
She says she's going to throw it at him.
Yeah, you're right. And it's a setup for the joke is why. Because I
get it when they did the joke, but that just made me more frustrated where I'm like, I actually kind of wish it wasn't axe, so he would know that you gotta dodge axes when they're throwing.
Or what if he let it hit him and was like, it's rubber, I didn't need to dodge. Like would that have been good?
It's my biggest critique of the episode, which shows how much I didn't.
It's a good point. The fact that it's a comedy episode and lighthearted, I'm gonna let it go for the joke because I did like the joke that he's like, whoa, and they cut to credits, and then they come back. And actually, before we come back, let me check. Well, this will be our credits because I want to check chat. We missed a few. Real Babu regarding my Time Force rant. They didn't have the time. Matt Kendall Claire, that was bad defender. Oh, I think when you were saying time, there's no time.
Yep.
I did get riled up, Matt Kendall Claire, yes. So much passion, says Dolly. Real Babu, it drove over every other season of Power Rangers. Overdrive. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we're all back to our regular schedule.
What you say to have that joke be valid is it drove over every other Disney season until it parked and let RPM take the rest of the trip.
Wasn't Jungle Fury next?
until it pulled
Ninja
up.
Steel. All right, so the axe goes flying, and they really like put some sauce on this shot of like following the axe. Like they definitely didn't cheap out on that, and it hits him, and even more than not using his speed, he just goes. Like, he's like a ninja master. He knows karate even before he became a Power Ranger, but he's just like...
He's not a ninja master. That was the previous season. Continue.
You know what I'm saying. But he clearly is an able fighter, so I just took this as completely joke. Yes, he should have cheetah speed. Yes, he has good reflexes. It was just for the purpose of the joke. He picks it up. Oh, it's rubber. Thank goodness. And I'm fine with it. He was doing some good faces. Again, look at Zoe. She's awesome. I love her this episode. She's so good.
Yeah.
Actually, and that's one of the things, because one of the first figures I bought was her yellow figure, and like the lightning line, I want her, she's going to have a regular face, but I want her to have like this head you can stick on the body. She won't, but I would love it.
Yeah.
And then he gives a face too, and he's like, and then the two of them go running off together. Oh no, sorry, I forgot about this. This power, which I don't remember ever seeing before, he doesn't morph up.
Oh yeah, that was new.
He hits his morpher and he fires. Kind of, we've seen Blaze and Roxy do this, similar, like where it's sort of like an entrapment beam, and then it turns into a cable and it catches her. I don't recall seeing that before. I like that it's non-lethal use of a tool he has, although it makes you wonder why he didn't do that right away. But
Yeah.
But I also, again, getting back to comedy, this is some Ben and Betty Bulk and Skull stuff.
Oh,
she doesn't fall over. She like and falls over like a tree with an awesome face. She could easily be comic relief in some other show. Like she's the
MVP.
I already liked her, but this episode, she out comedied Steel this episode, and that's saying something.
Okay. Yeah. Let me get your hopes up for something that'll never happen.
Okay.
If they were to bring Beast Morphers properly into the comics, it would be great if there was a mission with just Steel and Zoe.
Yeah, sure, I'm down. And maybe Jax,
or just the Beast Bots with Steel. Actually, I really
and he would be like the serious leader one, and be like, "You guys are not taking this seriously.
You must follow me because I am the strongest." And then Jax will say,
"I don't think so."
And then Crush will say, I don't know about this.
And then Cruz will say, I'm Kelson. Anyway. Actually, that reminds me, though, there was a Steel joke that we kind of skipped over in the beginning. Not a big deal, but it was a Steel one where Nate is like, oh, this is so scary, it's going to knock your socks off. And Steel being
I don't
literal,
even wear socks.
Yes, I've never worn socks. Impossible.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Everything about it.
Yeah, so good. All right, so they capture her, and he's still pretending to be of like, oh, you are a tough warrior. You remind me of Zoe. Actually, now I sound like Kevin from The Office. Hey, you remind me of...
I think that you remind me of Zoe. She's pretty good at fighting, and yeah.
Devin, could you just do your work, please? That's my Angela. That was a very good Kevin, by the way.
Thank you.
I've
been practicing.
Oh, well done. I believe it.
No, my coworkers and I sidetrack. Quote The Office a lot, so it helps every once in a while when we actually do
There you go.
in character.
So she gets her flashbacks. One is to the first episode where she gets her powers. Her and Devin were having an adventure.
Yep.
And the other one is to when she was a jerk to Jack, and then
wait, what did you say?
A jerk?
Shout out, Lupin Green. That's
but she realized her error, and the whole point was that she was being a jerk again. And it was, again, I was thinking too, like, even her jerk episode wasn't as bad as anybody else.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, man, like, she really handled that jerk episode well, where I actually forgot about it.
Yeah, completely. But it did drive home, like, oh yeah, the Beast Bots, they're part of the family. They threw them this party. Where are they? We don't see them very often as it is, and now it's like a Halloween thing. So again, a minor nitpick. The
thing I also noticed about the jerk episode, she is the only one that showed remorse for being a jerk. Everybody else was more proved wrong, and they're like, all right, my bad.
Well, they showed remorse eventually. They showed remorse
immediately just felt the guilt, and she's just like, I'm sorry, Jack.
Well, because she's the heart of the team, and she's the nicest person. Yeah.
This is to bolster her up.
She doesn't need it, man. She's got this.
No, she will climb on every soda machine all on her own without the rabbit jumping ability.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. She's depowered. She's deep brainwashed now, and so it is kind of a weird dynamic where we have Steel as Frankensteel and Dr. Nate Frankenstein, whatever, like chasing each other around. Like,
yeah,
I guess they just had to find a way to like make their personalities different. Because I thought again, like with Sherlock Holmes, that Nate would still be a scientist and still, but whatever. So I do like this face because I think Steele says, "Am I so of a monster to everyone that even my creator won't face me?" And he's like, yeah, like get out of here.
You're hideous. I hate you.
Yeah.
Let the adrenaline sharpen your decision-making skills.
So then, wow.
Another Office reference.
So then they, from when Dwight sets off the fire alarm. Fire. Yeah. So then the others come in and they wrap them up with the same cord, which we just were introduced to.
We're not going to address it. We're just going to let it be.
And
it's
Ravi is now
in an episode prior to this, but it's out of order.
I'm another doctor. Oh, maybe. Good call. Yeah. And Ravi comes in. He's like, I'm a doctor, which is interesting because the other people like had to sort of dress up, but like, would a doctor not listen to anyone that's not a doctor? Like, couldn't he just, I don't know, whatever. So, but then all three of them dress up. It wasn't enough for just Ravi to be an expert doctor scientist. All three of them had to. And what's interesting here is Ravi, I don't think has any accent. Devin may or may not have an accent. I don't think so. Zoe has an accent and a different accent. She sounds kind of like Southern or something, which I feel like the actress is just like, I like doing accents. Let's do it for no reason. And I love that. And it makes it fun. Also, I saw on her Instagram, she was talking about this episode. She was really excited to get to wear a bow tie. So maybe she's also a Doctor Who fan. The 11th Doctor, a big fan of bow ties. Maybe there you go. But I do love that. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think Ravi's actor's like, accents aren't my thing. I'm just going to be here.
I think that's fair enough. I don't think, but that's my point. None of them needed to do accents. It just was like, she's like, I'm going to do it. Why not? Yeah. And so they start talking to him, and he's like, oh, he's my monster. Why do you have me tied up with him? And like, oh, we know this other scientist named Nate, and he's great, and he gets along with his creation. And then, of course, the flashback to creating Steel, which then leads into him being the Gold Ranger, and then Steel coming out, and then Steel being the Silver Ranger. Yes.
One thing about this, once again, this is the defense episode. Remember how every single week I always bring up how Nate wasn't allowed outside by himself.
Yes.
They completely bypass that and remind us, hey, remember when he wasn't allowed outside by himself and then took care of himself even more so by making himself a ranger and turning the half-brother soon-to-be into a ranger as well?
Yeah, because he's smart. There you go.
I'll give it to you, Hasbro. You made me eat my words.
Well done. Well done. All right, man, this is a crazy episode. This is the Clip Show Halloween episode is solving problems Big Dog has had for 13 episodes now.
I literally was watching it thinking like, oh, I'm not going to like this one, whatever. And I watched it, I'm like, ooh, that's a good point. Oh, wow, that's actually a pretty good. Wow, okay, all right.
Well, all the Rangers are now cured. Devin's happy. I'm sorry. The Rangers are all now cured. They untie him, and Nate, of course, is like, "I don't think you're a monster. I didn't mean it. I hope I didn't hurt your feelings." He's like, "Of course not. I'm awesome. I'm gorgeous." It's like, get out of here. Don't even be silly. Then they get a call.
I love how he keeps it on too, like while they're doing everything.
Yeah. Why not? So Commander Shaw calls and is like, "Hey, by the way, there's a plot for the rest of the episode," and we see this guy. Was his name Needletron? I think I forget. Whatever.
Forktron?
He does look like Fork, but here's the thing. That's one of the coolest monsters I've seen on this show. He's really awesome looking. Like, that's where I go back to, like, I wish we saw more of him. Spiketron? There you go. Thank you, Matt Kind of Clear.
Forktron probably just too close to home.
Yeah, maybe he was made out of forks, but they gave him a better name. Dolly Girl says, I'm going to a Halloween party this Saturday night. I'm excited. I don't want to dress up like a doctor, though. Well, I am excited for you. You should dress up as something. Maybe let us know what you're going to dress up as.
Hopefully your costume is not a doctor, but still pretty rad.
Yes. Maybe a rad doctor, a doctor of radiation. Oh, a radiologist. A radiologist! That's not a doctor, technically. Anyway, so Spiketron and Scrozzle are stealing a truck is what's happening. I think I missed that one. Of Morphex. That was the whole plan. Scrozzle was going to be like, oh, they're going to be distracted. But of course they weren't distracted enough, and he's shocked his plan didn't work. So the Rangers show up because they got the call, and they morph. I was going to say they transport. And then there's an interesting thing because we have Scrozzle and Spiketron, and Scrozzle basically is like, I'm out of here. I'm going to call a Gigadrone. Here's the Tronics. And it's like this. It's like everything that happens in an episode normally, but it happens in like 30 seconds.
Here is the problem I had with this sequence.
Yeah.
Why could he not transport the truck too?
They've never done it before. I don't know that they've ever explained it. I think the assumption is that it's like personal transport only because it takes up so much energy.
But how do they transport the large amounts of Morph-X that they steal?
I don't know. That's a really good point. But I guess I'm thinking many times we've seen them with Morph-X, and do they just transport it? Or maybe it's like small.
It somehow
like,
has to go to the
Yeah, no,
cyber
you're right. It
dimension.
has to go to this evil dimension. But is it maybe like a small canister at a time with like each Tronic is how they do it?
They've had barrels of it.
No, in the cyber dimension, they might have barrels in it. But have we ever seen them transport a huge barrel? Or do we see them take it and then bit by bit get it over there? Because also remember, they had a warehouse in our world for a while.
Yeah.
So maybe they would steal it, bring it to the warehouse, and then slowly transfer. Oh, because they used to have that big teleporter bridge thing, right? That Nate destroyed. So they only have personal teleporters, so maybe they have to bring it over a little bit at a time, and they can't bring it over the truck.
What was their plan then, right here?
Well, they weren't expecting to get interrupted. They had just stolen it. So maybe they're going to drive it.
They didn't even do a throwaway line of like, oh, we need to take this to the warehouse.
I mean, that's what they should have done. They should have said we got to take it.
The big plot hole is that they have what they came for. How do they get rid of it?
That is now my least favorite part of this episode. You're right. But my assumption was that they were going to drive it somewhere and then get it over somehow later. But I don't think Scrozzle has the ability to just teleport something like that. I think he has a personal.
And I even gave it to him right after the Gigadrone comes in. Right. I'm like, cool. Now he can get rid of it. And we still see the truck there. So I'm like, what was the whole point of all of this?
I think there should. You're right. A throwaway line if we have to get this to transport pad or something like the warehouse or something that would have fixed it.
Let me siphon it while you fight. Assume it's all done. But that was the big issue. I'm like, every part of this plan is great except they're not showing the payoff.
I agree. But on the positive side, the Tronics and Spiketron come in, and we get this cool shot of Devin. And I don't know if this is American or Sentai footage, but I thought this was a really cool shot where they shoot up, then we pull back, and it's the two of them fighting. And then all in one continuous shot, we pull back, and you see Gold fighting a Tronic. And then we pull back further, and then we see Silver, and it's just the whole fight going backwards. And it was all in one shot, and the actors must have coordinated, and the stunts. I thought it was really cool. It was a simple, low budget thing to do, but it was really fun.
You know, my favorite part about this whole fight was
what? No guns? Yeah. None. Even at some point.
Episode.
Yeah.
None.
That was surprised. Well, shot out of order. Maybe at some point they're like, oh, guns aren't working anymore. And also now we have these little Spider-Man things.
No, I looked. I'm like, are they gonna? They didn't do it. Keep going so I can talk about it more. So they keep fighting. At a certain point, I got to see the clip, so I'm making sure I'm doing it right. The Gigadrone's there.
Yes.
Oh, what was it? Red and yellow go off, which I thought was kind of odd. All three of them didn't go, but whatever.
No, because Blue had to keep fighting the Spiketron. Gold and Silver were dealing with the Tronics. I mean, it might be flimsy, but there was a reason.
No, I liked how it wasn't. Oh, the immediate Megazord team go. It's like, all right, cool. We're not going to do the Megazord. That's fine.
Yeah.
So they go, call their Zords, get out there. I really liked that. Once again, we're showing the Zords don't always have to be Megazords.
Yes.
It's okay. Which I love that being a sub theme of this season.
Me too. Not only that, but I loved the whole Zord battle in this episode. It was one of my favorites this season, and one of my favorites.
I felt like it was too short still, though.
Yeah, well, this is my point. Is I really like the Spiketron, and I really liked the Gigadrone and the Zord battle and all this stuff, all the kind of B plot. I wish this was a main episode and they had used some other episode. That's what I'm talking about. All this stuff seemed really cool, but just kind of rushed.
Or even a two-parter.
That would have been cool too, yeah. But they come in with their B spots and they're having the fight and they hit the Gigadrone and then they realize that it is a Delta model, which means that it basically poops out another one. Or maybe the one that comes out is the Delta model. I was unclear if the Delta model refers to the one inside. You know what I mean? But basically,
the way I took it was a Delta model can do what the new Terminator can do and split in two, and then the Alpha model is just way stronger and the other higher models do specific things, but the Delta model...
I'm saying, are both of these the Delta?
I think so.
Okay, that was my question. I didn't know if Delta hides in another or Delta just refers to the team, basically.
I think Delta just means it can split.
Okay, well, and so as it was getting shot, it seemingly absorbs that energy to create the other one. Then we get this, which I don't remember seeing before, the insert shot, where we see Devin in the red Zord, and he's like, "Hey, let's
do this." I
don't
think we've seen that before.
I like it as a fan of like old school anime and Voltron, like that. I dig that. And then Zoe does the same thing. And so the new one has all these crazy lightning powers, and they're like, we're in trouble. Well, we got 2, and we can't form the Megazord.
And it looks so cool,
It does look cool. And again, I would have liked to see more of that. It's got this crazy red lightning. It's swinging its axe, and it's taking them apart. It feels like this could have been, like, at the end of the episode, we're not going to win. And then end of the episode. And then, maybe that's when they have to make the new Megazord with gold and silver or something,
Yeah.
So then they're getting their butts kicked. They're just getting wrecked. And Ravi's like sees this and says, "Oh man, they're getting their butts kicked. I have to go help." Luckily, Nate and Steel have basically cleaned up the Tronic, so he's like, "You take care of Spike Drone, whatever." Oh no, Spike Tron is the little one. Spike Drone was actually a beta model. That's what Matt Kendall Clare was saying. So Spike Drone was the big Giga Drone, and he was a beta. And then I guess the Delta come out of them. They were like in hiding or whatever. So Ravi sees what's going on. He's like, "I gotta correct here," and Nate's like, "Don't worry, we got this." And then Nate and Steel just do like a cool team up. I'm going to jump over you and like do a couple moves. And I really thought they were going to pull out their guns.
Pretty cool.
But they don't. They activate their swords in a way we haven't seen before. And then once they do that, they do like a final strike move, just the 2 of them, which is awesome. They swing their swords around, they get all kinds of energy, and they shoot this big sort of energy star and blows them to kingdom come, if you will. And we hadn't seen that before. And it was just really cool that they had their own little duo finishing move that they busted out. And there was a lot of a lot of cool new stuff that we see in this like clip show. It's so weird. So they blow him up, and then we cut back to the Zords fighting. And finally, here comes Ravi, and he blasts him with his Zord, and he buys him a minute. Like, we're going to form the Megazord. Which also calls back to something I liked in the beginning, which I haven't seen in a while, how there's like an energy shield around the Megazord.
I was going to say the same thing.
And it shows the enemies shooting at it, which again, I like to see that the enemies are like, we're not going to sit here and wait, we're going to shoot. Loved it. We haven't seen it in a while. So good. So good.
Yep.
And then another callback. Devin's like, we're really low on Morphex. It's critical because they've been fighting and using it. So yeah, they formed the Megazord, but we're in trouble. Which again, like, nice touch. Like, why not be the Megazord all the time? This is why. Yep. And almost immediately they take a hit, and all the Beast Bots are like, we can't do this. We're falling apart.
Yep.
And they fall apart. So cool. But not like they're
everything
destroyed.
About it, I was like, yes!
Yeah. It
never been so stoked to have the heroes like not be doing well.
Right, but it wasn't like one of those episodes where they blow it up and they're dead and they're gonna have to come back to life. No, they just couldn't maintain the formation, and now they're trying to find a different way to fight. I also thought it was cool. Spike Drone, I guess at this point, fired his like little missiles, and just like we were talking about last week with the damage to the head of the enemy, he's got these arrows sticking in his shoulder. He's down on one knee. It like really like humanizes like and anthropomorphizes the Zord here.
Yeah.
And then Ravi with Smash jumps in front. He's like ape mode, gorilla mode. He jumps in front because he knows he's gonna get shot again. And he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "We could take a hit." Come on, that's a cool hero.
I will say,
he's a tank right there.
3 for 3 today. So the thing I loved about it, I'll give it to you guys. You guys made me like Ravi a little bit more.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Second, similar to what you said, it instantly made me think of like all the fun campaigns I've done, whether it was D&D or another role-playing game where like something like that had to happen. It's like our main DPS is down, bring in the tank to cover for him.
Yeah. It was awesome. It's It's good strategy, but it's also good like character development. Who would have thought the Halloween clip show would turn you around on Ravi, do such an awesome Zord battle?
It was as far as I can remember, I think it's my favorite episode since they've been back.
Wow, that
like the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, yeah, I really like it.
I might agree because the first like 8 episodes or whatever we got, in general, I loved all of them. I think there's one that wasn't great, and then the ones since we've been back have been okay, but not amazing.
I hated the Tommy Tuba episode.
Yeah, I didn't love that. Well, yeah, but you're harder on it than I am. But like, yeah, this might be my favorite since it came back. That's weird.
The dentist episode was kind of meh.
Yeah.
What else was? Oh, the evil Nate episode was okay.
Because it had a lot of good Steel stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We got to move on though, because we're over an hour already.
Keep going.
So we got Gold and Silver come in with their kind of double-decker mode and start blasting away because they finished up their thing. And again, it's awesome because they come in and they're firing and they're not making a Megazord. It's just like all the different Zords using their various abilities. And they separate, and he's like, I'm going to go in the Striker and do some shots with the jet.
I love how Steel used it as a runway to leave.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I loved it so much, but I did.
Yeah, it was very cool, and he does it again later even better. So he comes in with a strafing attack. And then the hook, the crane, which to me as a kid and even as an adult, I'm like, that's like the lamest one. I'd hate to have the crane. But he's all like, bam, I'm punching you with the crane. Yeah, from the ground he's hitting him. And then he picks him up with the crane. Wait, I think I got the wrong shot here. He picks him up. Cool. Like he's giving him a wedgie. Just like, how you like that? And then spins around. It's a little bit cartoony and goofy, but not so much I minded. Like, I was like, yeah why not? Do it. And then he throws him up, and then Robbie's like, I got him, and fires in the air. I loved it. It was so much fun. And then this is what really sold me on it. We get the shot, the monsters exploded in the background, and the hero shot of the Crane Zord not looking at the explosion. Virus eliminated. It's the Crane Zord. And it's in Crane Zord mode. It's not even in its robot mode. It's so ridiculous. I loved it.
Yeah.
But then he does turn into the robot mode because it's like, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I could still do this. And then he uses his crane like Mr. Fantastic, just and just punching from 10 miles away, owning this guy. This guy that was taking on 3 Zords, he's getting owned by the Crane Zord. Like I think there's a case for the Crane Zord as the strongest Zord now.
Now, yeah.
He hits him, and then he shoots electricity down his crane arm. He's just busting out all these moves. It's crazy.
So good.
And then this is the part again. He has the crane all the way across in his face, and then Steel lands on it with his jet. It's like, I'm just going to fly down this into his face because why not overkill at this point?
And that's how they win. No blasters, even if it's for a sword.
Yeah. Yeah. No Megazord.
They did it. Hasbro
did
finally listened to me. Everything I was complaining about, minus 1 or 2 things, got fixed.
Yeah. Hexmeta, thanks for the lurk.
You listen, guys.
Matt Kendall Clear says the Wreckazord wrecked the drone. Yes, indeed. Well said. So they saved the day there. Now we're back. Everybody's back to their Halloween outfits and like they're themselves. And Nate, this is where Nate talks about the website and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I take it on the website. No one else has looked at it." Doesn't really make sense, but whatever. At this point, who cares?
Leave it. Throwaway line.
And then they're like, "Where's Devin?" Like, well, he hates Halloween, so he's being a poop in the other room. And then this crazy ninja comes in, like screaming and like kicking.
I love how much popcorn got wasted.
And I watched it again. I originally thought Devin like hit it out of his hand, but Nate literally just goes, "Ah!" just throws it in the air. Spoilers, it is Devin, and he's dressed up as some sort of ninja character from one of his favorite video games, so that ties it back to he loves video games. And he's like, "Oh, I realize when you dress up and act like the character, it's fun." So what he's saying is he doesn't like Halloween so much as cosplay. He doesn't want to just dress up as a monster. He wants to pretend to be the character, and he does, and he gets in on the fun, and I'm fine with that because all's well that ends well. And then him and her start fighting, and everybody gets into a big, freeze frame, sitcom-y pose. Good. Popcorn on the floor. Good episode. Happy me. Happy you. Yes. Well done, Beast Morphers. You made me like a clip show. But you also made me like it better than the last couple episodes I've seen of the regular show, which is insane.
Yep.
And I 100% agree with you, Big Dog. This is the best episode since it's been back, which is nuts to say. Just nuts.
I didn't think it going in, but us talking about it actually made me like it more.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I'm gonna check my notes to see if there's any parting thoughts on this episode that you didn't get a chance to bring up while we were going over it beat by beat.
We had no Roxy and Blaze.
Correct.
No Evox.
Correct.
Yeah, and I was okay with it.
I was okay with it. One thing I forgot to mention in the beginning, they all have little popcorn cups because they're gonna like watch a movie.
Oh,
and they give one to Steel. But we've established that Steel can't eat.
I noticed that too.
What was in there? Was it just a cup, or did it have like oil?
No, it had popcorn in it.
Yeah, but he can't eat. They said he can't eat.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to smell it because they established he could smell.
Maybe they were just doing it so he's included.
Yeah. Smells good to me. That's my stand. I'm Steel. Hello. That's what he sounds like, right? I'm so great and handsome. I'm Steel. That's Steel when he's old.
Even though I can't eat this popcorn, I'll hold it during our movie we're watching.
So the key is to act like Patrick Warburton, basically.
Every time I told you, that's what I always goes to for whatever reason.
The other thing I was going to say was that the costumes, Frank. I had another note here. I forget. But I do. It didn't affect the episode to make it like a bad episode or anything. But I do wish Ben and Betty were in it. Even if they were only in it a little bit, and I specifically, I already kind of explained to myself why I understand why they didn't, because it would just be too much going on. I'm going to fix your picture here while we're talking. But the idea of them getting to turn into their costumes would have been really awesome. And part of it is time, and part of it maybe they wanted to let the Rangers, who typically are more serious, get to have the comedy. But it did seem a little odd to not have the comedic actors get in on the comedy. And even if it was like at the very end, like maybe instead of going, oh, no one else found it, it could have been a thing of like, well, I shut it down. Hopefully nobody else saw it. And Ben and Betty come in wearing like homemade Power Ranger costumes. Like, don't worry, we're the Power Rangers. Or some little moment where, oops, they saw it, and you know it's going to be okay. But I feel like that would have been a fun little thing to end on.
Yeah.
Other than that, good episode. Good episode. Yeah.
I think we have another episode this weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic, but this gave me some hope after a couple of ones that were not my favorites.
Yeah, but we both agree that the storyline of stealing the Beast powers is interesting, and they're going to have to get back to that. So I'm hoping that the next one we see is like they finally get the cheetah power, and now what?
Maybe to counteract it, that's why he has that weird armor and the cheetah claws.
No, that's a power-up. That's a straight power-up. Because they built that before...
Whatever, man. They started it before. Some headcanon too.
No, but Nate built that. Like, here's a new power-up I'm working on. He doesn't know that the powers are being stolen. He's not like, this will help if somebody steals the powers because I'm expecting that to happen. Nate's just like, here's some claws that use more effects.
But maybe the claws are the power-up, and then the armor that's associated with it after is an afterthought to combat the other beast powers.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm only half invested.
I would like it. Prove me wrong, show, but I don't see that happening. Well, actually, do you have any news stuff you want to talk about? Because we could just.
I do have some news.
Yeah, why don't you talk about that?
I recently finished the original graphic novel, The Psychopath, over the last week. I know it had released, I think, 2 weeks ago in comic stores, and then I got mine on Amazon last week. And spoiler-free review. What I will say is, I preferred Soul of the Dragon. I'm glad I got Psychopath. I'm glad I read it. The only real prerequisites are watching Power Rangers in Space, Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, and it wasn't required but preferred if you had read the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger arc for 1969. I think it was like issue 19 to 25 or like something along those lines.
Gotcha.
And it was pretty good though.
But you think watching In Space and Lost Galaxy, the full seasons, is pretty much required to enjoy that graphic novel?
To fully enjoy it, because as you can see on the cover, Andros is morphed up.
Yes.
Corone is also on the front, and most, if not all of it, is in direct reference to what happened in those seasons.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, okay, now I got you. You're too big, but I could work with that. Before it was a mess.
Okay.
So we're still not there, but we're a step away from being there.
So, news. Oh, there were some leaks. I don't know if anybody on social media saw today, but the Lightning Collection.
Hold on
Wave
1
3,
second. Let me.
You're gonna pull it up.
Yeah, I had that ready for later. So
nice.
we're gonna do the episode review, and actually when we put this on YouTube, I'll probably flip it because I like to have the episode review up front because it's more timeless. But we'll just do news now since we're already talking about it. So I'm gonna go ahead, keep saying what you're saying. I'm just gonna pull up the screen here.
So
is this Wave 4 you're talking about?
Wave 3.
Okay, Wave 3.
Yeah, so that was Wave 4, which was rumored. Wave 3, half of it has already been revealed with in-hand photos.
Well, more than
half.
What I have up on screen now is Power Rangers Now, who I don't know if they were the first ones to break up, but this is from a while back. August 16th had mentioned the 4 being Mighty Morphin Red, Dino Charge Gold, Beast Morphers Blue, and Lord Draken. And that's basically confirmed, other than Lord Draken, from what you're talking about this picture, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. So they have the in-hand Dino Charge Gold. This is on the Instagram account Power Rangers Talk. So Power Rangers Now reported it. Power Rangers Talk got pictures that look like it's from a factory or something, overseas. And then Beast Morphers Blue. Then this one is just a group shot of all of them, but you could see Mighty Morphin Red non-Dragon Shield on the left here.
Correct.
So Lord Draken's still not seen, but it seems to reinforce or corroborate the previous things.
Yeah, I know in previous rumor lists there was like one or two that were like slightly off on like they got kind of like this 75% of it right, and then the last one's like here's a curveball. So
well, that being said, and in chat, Matt Claire says Hypnotic Halloween clip show. That's right. Yeah, random schedule for you. Van Illustration, thank you for the popcorn. Donton, howdy, welcome to the Action Activate show. But this was posted, I think, a few days ago. This is from Power Rangers Now as well. This is supposedly Wave 4. And some of these we had sort of gotten from those released SKU numbers a while back, but they're saying it's Mighty Morphin Yellow, Zeo Blue, SPD Red, and Blaze from Beast Morphers. And I'm inclined to believe this because this is the second time it's been reported from different sources. And also, this is Power Rangers Now, which reported Wave 3, which we're now finding out Wave 3 is correct. So it seems like Power Rangers Now is somewhat reliable with these, figure announcements, even if they're not.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I'm not super looking forward to Zeo Blue, also because we already have one. But at the same time, I'm like, I guess that's how we get the Rocky Head for the recently released. Jason.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that'll have a Rocky Head. It's funny because we have all the Zeo and the Mighty Morphin. Well, we have Mighty Morphin in a million different versions, but I still feel like I'm going to end up getting them.
Oh, I know I am. It's not a question. It's just one of those like,
The thing that's bumming me out, though, not bumming me out, but like they're releasing, we now are going to get our third Beast Morphers figure in this line, and I'm happy about that. But I have I have 5 Beast Morphers in the standard line already, and I would have maybe got more. I actually got silver and gold, but then gold came out, so I returned gold, and I'm hoping silver comes out. And I just like I would rather have the Lightning Collection version. So I'm like, I kind of wish I did. I already have Blaze, I already have Ravi, but now in chat, let's see. Back in Claire saying, "Hey everybody, Dolly Girl, not Doggy Girl. Dolly Girl says, I love the Doggy Kruger figure. I do too. I like most of the figures they've come out. Some I love, but I like all of them. Then Matt Kendall Claire, Anubis, Doggy Kruger is definitely cool. Oh, Anubis, I guess was is that the Japanese Sentai name? I think.
No, that's like his actual first name, and Doggy is his nickname.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. As those that don't know, SPD and Mystic Force are 2 seasons I have not seen yet. So I know he's cool looking, but that's all I know about him. And then he's in charge. Danton saying hello, and everybody's just saying hello. It's a nice little hello time. So let's finish up news, then we'll jump into the episode. The one other thing I wanted to mention, I don't know if you have anything else, but I just wanted to once again mention Ranger Stop, which is coming up. Let me go back to the full screen. Ranger Stop, I think it's 7, and this is in Orlando, Florida, at the Wyndham Resort, which is near Disney World, and this is November 8th through 10th. Why am I bringing this up? Well, it's Ranger news, but also I will be there. The Big Dog, unfortunately, will not. I will be there selling my art as Gazbot, but I will also be representing Action Activate, of course. There's a chance I might have a panel, but that is not finalized, so don't count on that, but you can count on me being there selling my art. And now recently they announced that Roger Velasco, who played In Space Black and Turbo Green, was canceled, and then the next day they put this up. Oh, that was the end. Walter Jones. Walter Jones is going to be there. He was not originally going to be there, or at least they hadn't announced it. So either he's filling in, or they're just like, oh, good timing. Here's So they like to announce guests slowly. So this might be the end of their guests, but might not. But
I know that's one of your favorite things when it comes to your prep for Ranger shows.
Yeah, for those that don't know, I'm a Ranger artist. I'm an artist in general, but I do a lot of Power Ranger fan art and conventions and things. Speaking of which, if you look kind of over there, you could see my Doggy Kruger SPD, which was voted on.
That's what Dolly Girl was referring to, by the way.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, I had him up last week doing the art process above me, and that's just showing what I did last week. He was voted on by everybody who follows the various social media we're on for a headshot, and part of the reason I was doing so many headshots because I'm going to be going to the show, so I'm trying to get as many actors as I can. Ideally, I'd have all of them, but they keep announcing so many that I can't keep up, which is a good problem to have for fans of Power Rangers at Ranger Stop, but a bad problem for me. So this, unfortunately, I will not have every character and actor, but I will have Doggy Kruger SPD, and as voted on again by the people following, I hesitate to use the word fans, the interested parties, let's say, where did it go? Sorry. I will have this one going. Oop, that should have been, that's right at the beginning, but it is Divatox, who was voted on by the peoples. So Viva la Diva,
Mm-hmm.
she has won the revolution, and that will play, in high speed over us as we talk about the episode. So, this is going to be weird because on YouTube, I'm going to put it out of order. So YouTube, that's the end of news, which will be the end of the episode. And then you'll see me just starting the art.
That was Action Activate. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Bad outro.
Bad outro.
Everybody else, welcome to Action Activate. We're here to talk about episode 14, Halloween Hypnosis. I am the Big Dawg Defender. He...
Gazbot.
And let's jump into it.
I feel like it works better when I go first because you have such a longer name. So it's like, I am the Big Dawg Defender, and you are Gazbot. Whereas I could be like, hey, it's me, Gazbot, and as always is.
Or I think you just don't like that every once in a while I throw that curveball of, I'm going to steal your shtick, and you're like, oh, I'm just here.
I don't mind you starting the show. Sometimes you throw it in, and it doesn't make a good opening for when I cut it, because I'm like, and then I said this, and you're like, anyway, we're starting the show. I'm like, oh, that's going to be hard to edit later.
That's what I'm here. My job is to make your life difficult in certain ways.
Well, thank you for that.
Hey,
anyway, you're the Big Dawg. I'm the Gazbot. Let's jump into Halloween Hypnosis.
Before we jump into it.
What?
For those that may not know, Gazbot recently had a birthday, so let's give him some happy birthday cheers in the comments, both on YouTube and on Twitch. And if you don't subscribe to him or follow him, what's wrong with you? Please go.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Austin St. John said. Maybe you need to see a doctor.
I know. I was kind of taking a page out of his book.
Oh, and speaking of which, yeah, if I would love a follow or the subscribe. The Gazbot is the channel that Action Activate is on. We're a little bit over 900 subscribers. If we get to 1,000, we can actually collect a couple pennies from those commercials, which will make it more likely that we could upgrade equipment, that we could go to shows to interview people, we could do more exciting stuff. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Wow, they're all pouring in now. Thank you so much, Matt Kendall Clare and Danton, Air Zuki, and Van Illustration. It was really good. I had a fun actual day, and then yesterday, my lovely tech advisor Erzuki and I went out and had some fun as well. Saw Zombieland among other things. So it was very good. But yeah, if you want to give me a free birthday present, if you're not already subscribed to the Gazbot YouTube channel, please do so or tell your friends.
Do it.
Once we hit that 1,000, I'll probably do some kind of giveaway. So that's something else to keep in mind.
Yep.
One other thing to talk about is at the beginning we had a shout out from who? Austin St. John, Jason, the original Red Ranger. Pretty good get. We've got a lot of cool people on the show. That was a pretty cool one. And if you don't know, we have a full interview. There you go. Signed. A full interview by the Big Dawg Defender, his first outing. Usually I'm the one doing the interviews. I was running the camera. He did the interviewing. It's up on the YouTube channel. It's one of our longest, too. It's about 15 minutes long. So check that out if you haven't already. And I think we have one more in the pipeline coming up, and then I'll have to get some new ones at Ranger Stop. Speaking of Ranger Stop.
I forgot about one.
Yeah, I have a semi-confirmed interview. Well, actually, it's confirmed, but, things could always go wrong. With the actor who plays Psycho Red, Patrick David. And so if you have any questions for him, let me know. I will try to do a few interviews with others if I can, but I am going to be running my own table, and who knows if they'll be available. But if you look at Ranger Stop guest list, you see a guest, you have a question, shoot it our way through one of the various social media, and I will try to use it as intended. The main one I'm going to try to get, other than Psycho Red, is Jungle Fury Blue for obvious reasons. I'll try to get whatever else I can, but those are that's the one I almost definitely will have unless something goes wrong, and the one that I will put the most effort into getting. Let's see, Real Babu, happy manufacturing anniversary. Thank you, Real Babu. Z-Land was good. Yeah, I liked Zombieland, the first one, and I did like the second one too. Defender's interview, there's Matt Kendall Clare. Defender's interview with Austin was pretty awesome to see. I agree. Yeah, I thought he did a good job. I think you were the right defender for the job. I could have done it, but I think it's better that you did it for a variety of reasons.
It was definitely memorable. I will say that.
That's it? I thought you were going to say something else.
No, I don't know. There was a lot that went on. I don't
give you a one shot.
Anything for those that didn't see it, but it was weird from an interview perspective just because he had so much he had to say for each question that at certain points I'm kind of just nodding like, wow, all right, wow, okay, yep. And it was really cool to hear about some projects that I didn't know as much about and get his take on his martial arts background and what he recommends for those that haven't dabbled into martial arts. So if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. And there's somebody in there that he recommends all of us check out that I actually still need to.
Judo
so
Joe.
On my list.
Oh, sorry, is that a spoiler?
Judo Joe. No, I forgot. That's why I didn't say it.
Gotcha.
I knew it had to do with Joe.
Yeah. I think that's it for chat. So everybody that was here live, thank you very much. Thank you for the biddies, TAC Ops. Thank you for checking us out on YouTube after the fact. If you're not subscribed, please do. Tell people to subscribe. We get to 1,000.
Yep.
I'll do some kind of giveaway, something good, a toy or art or both. I don't know. Meanwhile, yeah.
Oh, sorry. One last thing. Feel free, if you guys are behind on a couple episodes, go back. Feel free to share your thoughts on YouTube. Gazbot and I do check them retroactively from time to time after they've been posted and do comment back at times. So feel free to say something if maybe there's a thought you forgot at the time or just catching it for the first time and want to put your thoughts there.
Right, which is why I like to put the episode first and the news at the end, because the news is going to be boring after a month when we've seen all the figures come out.
I don't know what you mean.
Danton, good episode. Thank you very much. You have a good week as well. We'll see you guys all next week. Be Monday around 5 for the live show on Twitch, and then Tuesday we'll put up on YouTube. So until next time, I've been Gazbot.
I have been the Big Dawg Defender.
And
to the power.
And
see you guys later.
Hey, what's up? It's me, Gazbot. Oh boy, the big dog is just a little pair of eyes. Hey,
can you see me?
We can, but you're way off here. Let me go to the wide shot. Yeah, we got the Big Dawg Defender with us, but his Discord was acting a little bit weird. Say something to the people, Big Dog. Let's see if they can still hear you.
Well, I am the Big Dawg Defender. I am here, and I have
some
controversial takes for this episode today.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, you could talk, but they can't see you, I think, right now.
Yeah, what I was going to say for some of our YouTube viewers, specifically Lupin Green, I think you're going to like what I have to say today.
Oh, boy.
So this one's going to be honorarily to you. But yeah, I have some things to say about this most recent episode.
That is very interesting. Yeah, right now you're a little chat box, so let me fix that. We might have to cut the beginning of this out.
Some people have told me that. That was my nickname in high school. Little chat box.
Maybe can you? I see people chatting, but I can't pay attention right now.
Matt Kendall Clare, hello to you. Hi, Real Babu, Dolly Girl. Hiya. Everybody's saying hi to each other. And today we are talking about episode 14, which was Halloween Hypnosis. I know in prior episodes, for those of you that watch, we thought that it was going to be a much later episode. They were airing early for Halloween, but it seems like it was just regular old episode 14.
Yeah, which is surprising, especially considering there were only, 13 episodes, and now they're doing a recap episode. It seems kind of short, but...
Yeah. I mean, it could have been worse. But yes. I'm definitely, once again, I know I've been saying it every week, looking forward to what we see coming up, just because the few spoilers I've seen for future episodes have looked pretty promising.
I think I went from making you totally tiny to filling up the entire screen. Hey, Dolly Girl. Oh my gosh.
I see a lot of Technicolor on the Twitch side.
I think that's like you. I think that's like your cheek.
Sweet.
I'm gonna totally delete this, and yeah, we're definitely sorry about the technical difficulties, folks. Big Dog was coming on a little bit late, so we weren't able to handle it ahead of time.
Worst case, if it doesn't work out, you could put my my picture back up like you did that one time.
True. Well, I have you, like, if I give you the one shot, like, okay, right now you got the one shot and we could see you. You're just not framed correctly.
Yeah.
And I think, but for some reason, the incorrect framing on the regular show just is so far off. I'm having a hard time fixing it.
Will this help you?
No. What? No. I mean, it's not you physically. It's the software thing. Because I had it all set up for how Discord was before, and then we changed it, and so now it's all, gotcha. Very interesting to everyone watching, I'm sure. But right now you have a lovely one shot at least. That's something. Hey, look at the big dog and his one shot.
Well, while Gaz is still going over that stuff, I'm going to give my initial